Hello and welcome to the Steps to Maths website. In this series of videos I'm going to be introducing you to the website and how to use it. So first of all, the very first thing that we're going to be doing is we're going to go to the library here. So if you click on the library, that brings you to the main page that is used for providing content, as you can see, browsing, creating, testing, providing timed questions and worksheets. So first of all, we're going to look at how the library is laid out. First of all, there's a series of master files. The Maths master file contains all of the content for Maths, and similarly the Applied Maths and Science books contain all of the content for Applied Maths and for Science. As a teacher, you can browse through that easily enough. However, for your students, it's going to be much easier to have class books where some of the content is taken out and put into a book that you can share with your students with just the content that you're looking for to be shared. In this video, we're going to be looking at creating worksheets. So I've created a book that contains only just the questions from the maths book. Let's click on that and read this book. As you can see, you're not logged in, so a number of functions are not available. Let's read the book. Now, again, we're not logged in. Let's have a look at the contents here. The table of contents contains all of the information that we have in the book. So here's the different sections that we have containing questions from the maths book. So in the natural numbers, we have a number of different sections, again for integers, fractions, decimals, and so forth. All of these contain questions that you'll be able to assign to your students. So the first thing we want to do, just to introduce you to this, is when you're going through the book, if you weren't selecting for worksheets, you can just click on a section in the book and it provides you with information. If you want to make that easier to read, you can toggle the width, and there's the content. Okay, so this is help that's going to be provided. In addition to this, there's going to be video links in some of the sections to provide you with additional video help on these questions. So I'm going to toggle the width because I want to choose for questions. I click on choose questions for worksheet up here, and that gives me the option to select a number of questions. So we're going to select rounding, something on prime numbers maybe, and maybe the highest common factor. Okay, so I've selected those options and let's have a look at that. Okay, let's have a look at the questions on rounding. Clicking on the button that says rounding here, I can see a number of different example questions for rounding, and I have the option to choose how many questions I want. I'm going to choose 5, and how long I give my students to answer this question when it's put up on an overhead projector. So I'm going to say for rounding maybe just 5 seconds. Prime numbers, that's going to be trickier. We're going to just put 3 questions on, and we're going to give our students maybe 50 seconds to answer that. And for the highest common factor, tricky enough, let's do 3 questions and give our students 50 seconds to answer. Now, let's have a look at start exercise. There's 2 options here. There's load worksheet and there's start exercise. If I click on start exercise, this is one of the main parts of the Steps to Maths, and it provides students with a way to automatically test their work. However, I'm not logged in, so I can't use this just yet, but we will come back to that in a later video. Let's have a look at loading the worksheet. When I click this button, it loads a URL here. And the reason I want you to look at this URL is because all of the information that you need for this worksheet is contained here. And this makes it very, very easy for you to select exactly the content that you want, how many questions you want, and how long you want to provide for each questions. And you can assign that to students then, as again we'll see that in a later video. Also, of course, you can share that with anybody that you want. It's just a simple link, makes it very simple for you to decide what you want to do. Okay, so let's have a look at the worksheet. I have 2 options. I can just start the worksheet. I'm going to make it white just because it's a little bit easier on the overhead projector. And we're going to start the questions. So the first question comes up. Again, there's 5 of these questions. You're given 5 seconds for each of these questions. This comes up on the overhead projector, and I think this is quite a useful warm-up for students in a class. It gets them focused on the work that you want them to do. So again, you can select a little bit of topic from the previous day or whatever you want to do. Okay, that continues up to there. At this point, when you go on to question 5, you're given a lot more time. You're given 50 seconds for each of these questions. At any point you can stop. You can view the answers. And you can, of course, you can pause as well if you want to give a little bit of extra time during a particular question. The other option available here is to open a worksheet. So let's look at what happens when I open a worksheet. It's unfortunately in Afrikaans at the moment. Okay, so there we go, showing the original. So the worksheet there, it gives you all the questions and all the answers, and this is particularly useful when you want to print out a question, and again you can change it into whatever language you want. Let's have a look at a slightly different option. Some of the questions take up very little space, so when you print it out you might want it in columns. So let's have a look at the worksheet in columns. That's a little bit better for printing out and for sharing with your class. So if you want to print out 50 questions or 100 questions or whatever you want to do, that can be done there. Again, it's very easy to change these options here. So let's say I want to change this and I wanted 50 questions rounded. I just enter that there, I press enter, it reloads the page, and then I can just open the worksheet again, and now I have 50 questions. So that's the worksheet. It's one of the main aspects of the Steps to Maths program, apart from the exercise. So on the Steps to Maths website, there are a number of books. So let's just go back over this again. From the library, there are a number of master files, and there are a number of class books which contain all the content that you want. The most useful one at the moment is the one with the questions. So you just click on read the book. You select the content that you want to have a look at. You can toggle the width, and let's have a look at a slightly different option here. If you want all of this information on a single page, you can click on the chapter link. The chapter link opens the particular chapter from this particular topic onwards. If there were subtopics inside this, it would load them as well. So there you go, natural numbers rounding, it's loaded onto a single page. Again, the URL makes it very easy to share this if this is a particular topic that you want to share, and it also makes it very, very easy for you to save. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the introduction to the Steps to Maths website, and I hope you're going to find it useful. In later videos, we're going to be looking at how you create your own content and how you create your own books, how you select the content that you want, and how you can assign it to your students.